well. And yeah, we're gonna not do it with our staff live on screen, Stuart, this week, but we're just because we have so many people on camera here. But we will break down all four of the quarterfinal games, and then we'll preview the semifinal games as well. But Stuart, the mod father, for people who don't know, how are you doing tonight?
I am doing excellent. How are you doing?
Good. I appreciated your Jets having an off night. Last night we've been playing pretty well this season. I was a bit nervous about that game going into it, but
you know what? I didn't see a second of the game. I was busy yesterday, but well, football day. I tend to not watch hockey at football day, but I heard my brother went to the game and he said they played absolutely terrible. Worst he's seen them play all year. So that happens.
Yeah, definitely. So now, did you? I know you're a Boston fan.
I hate the Patriots though.
Yeah, you do.
with an absolute passion. Just so Jamie and Carly are clear on this point. I am sick right now that the Patriots are winning. But go on.
Yes. All right. So, how did you become a Boston fan if you're somebody from Canada?
Well, when I was a kid, there were 6 teams, right? That was it. And Bobby Orr became a big deal in my school and around where I lived, and everybody wanted to be Bobby Orr, right? Nothing else mattered at the time. I collected hockey cards when I was a kid, so I still have 36 Bobby Orr hockey cards that are in mint condition. I just became a Bobby Orr fan, and after that, it just became natural that I kept watching the Bruins my entire life. So we didn't have a team back then, obviously. So we, Boston was my team. And well, we had the Jets in the WHA, so I watched the Jets too. But when I was watching NHL, I watched Boston.
Interesting. But obviously, you root for both teams now. I assume.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you get many teams out there, or you not get to watch many of your teams?
Say that again. I missed that.
You get many of your Boston games, or
we don't. We usually only get one home game a year against Boston. And I, one of my friends has season tickets. He saves a ticket for me for that game, so I go with him to that. But I might not be able to see it this year. I'm not sure when they're playing, but I'm due for hip surgery next week. So
yeah,
it was supposed to be this week, but I had COVID right after I talked to you guys last week, and so they put me back a week. So I'm getting my hip done on the 21st.
I'm happy they were able to find a way to reschedule it.
I was thrilled.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I want to thank everyone for tuning in. We got a lot of people on our Twitch chat. Everyone, chatting it up, and it's cool to see people from all different parts of the music community joining us tonight to celebrate the birthday, the Sucky Wizards, and the World Cup. So sort of an up and down podcast, but now we get to talk about a really exciting week in the Men's World Cup. I'm going to go through the bracket real quickly. So when we last left off, the games that were going to happen was the Netherlands versus Argentina, Croatia versus Brazil, England versus France, and then Portugal versus Morocco. We're going to save the England-France game for last. We're going to talk about the top part of the bracket first, which is the Netherlands versus Argentina. A game that went to penalty kicks, and Argentina was able to prevail that way. I'll start with you, Stuart. What were some of your thoughts on that game?
It was a good game. I didn't expect a 4-goal game. I was kind of surprised by that, but in the same breath, it's the World Cup. There's not a lot of things you can expect that will happen, because it seems like everything you don't expect does happen. It was a good game. Argentina, I thought, was the better team. I thought they deserved the win. It was so bloody chippy at points, though, and the reffing was honestly really bad. It was awful bad, both ways, mind you. I didn't favor one team over. Well, I shouldn't say that. I want Messi to win, so yeah, I probably favored Argentina. But I thought the reffing was bad both ways, and we've seen a lot of that this World Cup, where the reffing has just been so questionable. It's scary bad sometimes.
Yeah. All right, I'll go to you next. Kim, what are some of your thoughts on the Argentina Netherlands game?
Yeah, I mean, the Argentina players were livid after the game because they felt like the refs just wanted Netherlands to get back into it. But the Netherlands, to their credit, they didn't quit. I thought it was over when it was 2-0 at the end. but they had two really nice goals, good header, good set piece. So it's kind of continued the trend of a lot of overtime games, extra time games in this round. But also just Argentina wouldn't be denied. And it was just funny how much anger there was between the Netherlands coach and Messi and the Argentina players. I guess he felt disrespected. So there was just a lot of bad blood in this game in general.
There's history there.
Yeah, definitely.
Really bad history.
Yeah, big kind of rivalry and contentious game.
Yeah, for sure. Arun, what are some of your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, a lot of yellow cards, and the over/under Vegas before was 3.5 yellow cards, and we got 17 yellow cards.
Should have taken that one.
And somebody apparently bet on the under. That was just kind of funny.
Yeah,
that was over in like a couple minutes, I'm assuming. And 2-0 deficit come back by the Netherlands. And the last time I think they were in the World Cup, it went to penalty kicks. It was 4-2, and this time it was 3-2 in penalty kicks. So Argentina just does enough to win. And I don't know, Argentina complaining about the officials just reminded me a little bit about like last week when one of the players like kicked the VAR machine down. So I don't know. I guess it just seems like they're really invested. Like obviously it's only a game in some places, but this is like life, not only for the players, but for the entire country is like crying even when they're about to win the game, which is kind of funny. But good for Argentina to do enough to win, because at one point when the Netherlands tied it up, then it didn't seem like they were going to do well, but Argentina dominated in extra time and they deserved to win because I think they were the better team.
Yeah.
Just another quick thought on this game. It was two quick thoughts. I never felt like the ref was in control. If you're putting out 17 yellow cards and the game is still out of control, the ref is really missing some bad things. And that goes back to like Argentina. You said we're complaining that they should have, the refs brought them back into the game, but the reality was Messi deserved a red card in that game. He kicked a player in the legs, deserved a red card, should have been gone. Even the announcers were saying should have been gone, right? So if you're going to complain about the refs, maybe you should look at your own replays before you complain about the ref, because really Messi should have been out that game and missing the next game because of a red card he should have had.
Yeah, for sure. We actually got someone who submitted a question for the host, which is a rare thing that people actually submit for these. It's a very expensive 100 channel points.
Better do it then.
Very expensive. So there's a question, what is the best sports movie? Top 3, also 100 points. What the hell? So that's from Pines to you, Stuart. What is your top favorite sports movie or top 3?
Pines. I am not going to say my top sports movie because Jillian and I share the same movie, and there's going to be a reveal one day. So nice try, buddy. It's not happening.
Oh, yeah. Pines is just live on air, right? You heard it.
Jillian and I have a favorite sports movie, which we'll let you know about here on this show too, because it's funny. But we have this favorite sports movie that we both absolutely love, and Jillian wants to do a reveal of it one day or have a watch party for it. So that's probably my favorite.
That's different than the favorite movie that she's also hiding from us.
That's the favorite movie too.
Oh, it's the same. So now we know this is a sports movie. We've now narrowed it down a little bit. So. I'll ask Tim real quickly. Do you have a favorite sports movie since you're not your daughter?
I'm gonna say Sandlot. The Sandlot.
The Sandlot.
Yeah.
Fun.
Sandlot's good. Yeah. Any given Saturday, I'd put in my top 3.
Arun, do you have a favorite sports movie?
Off the top of my head, Hoosiers, and
nice.
I just want to say that my sister sent me a sports movie and I said it was garbage and we got in a fight about it apparently.
Nice.
like recently?
Like a year ago. Beginning of the pandemic.
Okay.
You know what movie I don't know, there's a lot of really good ones. I think Sandlot's up there, but I kind of like Better Like Beckham. I think that they actually did a really good job with that movie.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen that in a long time.
Yeah,
that's good.
That's a good movie too,
yeah.
I mean, it's not like a pure sports movie, but I thought that.
Yeah,
Happy Gilmore.
It's a sports movie. Yeah, Happy Gilmore
is another good one. So there's a lot of different ones out there, and there's some really good, hockey ones out there that I've always liked. I would say Mighty Ducks is up there.
Oh yeah,
definitely.
That might be yeah,
slap shot, just because it's the stupidest thing I ever saw in my life.
Exactly. I actually like the Mighty Ducks did a Disney Plus series.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't watched it yet.
I've watched season 1. I liked it. I've not seen season 2. But is Rocky considered a sports movie? Yes, it is considered a sports movie. That's also a good one.
Apollo Creed
Yeah, Apollo, all those movies and stuff like
or
that.
Creed,
So,
not
oh yeah, Creed movies. Yeah. So so anyway, well, that's our answers, and Stuart is abstaining. So I can't.
I'm abstaining on number 1, and Pine somehow thinks he knows the genre of the movie. Well, yeah, we already said it was a sports movie, but yeah, it's an ongoing battle with Pines and Jillian trying to figure out what movie she
the
likes.
fact that I did not know. So at least now I've witnessed that her favorite movie is a sports movie, which I would say is surprising. But
It is.
all right, let's get into the next matchup. Croatia versus Brazil. Something that last week we were talking about. My feeling was the winner of this might win it all. I think that this was definitely the toughest of the 4 matches in the quarterfinal, or potentially could be. I thought Brazil was my favorite to win it all, but I thought that Croatia wasn't getting necessarily enough credit. I mean, to be to be the runner-up last time. They're a good team, and they've been consistently one of the top teams in the world. And I feel like they are constantly overlooked, so they got that chip on their shoulder, which I think is helpful in a lot of ways. I'll start off with you, Stuart, once again. What are your thoughts on Brazil losing in penalty kicks?
Well, I said last week when Brazil was supposed to play against Switzerland, I said Brazil wins unless they play what's his face, Ronaldo.
Mm-hmm.
I said because Brazil, they have a player that was great, and he was a superstar at one time, and we ran into this problem in Canada, World Hockey Championships and Olympics and all that. We were playing players that were old and not as good as they used to be, and everybody was relying on them in the power play and all the best plays and all that stuff. So I said if they played Ronaldo against Switzerland, they would lose. Well, they didn't play Ronaldo. They won 6-1, right? So now they come to the next game and they have to play against Croatia. Well, I said it again. I said if they play Ronaldo, they lose. Sure enough, they put Ronaldo as the super sub, bringing him in the second half in the most crucial part of the game. And instead of having a goal scorer like Ramos up there or something like that, they had a guy that's beyond his prime, and he screwed up a lot. He made a lot of mistakes. They lost the game. Croatia, luckiest team in the world. They're proving beyond a doubt that you don't have to be the best team out there to win. You just have to score at the right times. So Croatia, they look good. But Brazil shot themselves in the foot by playing Ronaldo. That was my thought on the game.
Yeah. All right, Tim, what are your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I just thought great goal by Neymar for Brazil, but they should have put it away. I mean, they dominated. They could have been up by like 2 goals, 3 goals. So they just let Croatia stay in, and Croatia had a kind of a lucky goal off of the deflection, but they did put pressure on and they never quit. And like you said, they're consistent. They always get to the end of tournaments, go deep. They like playing with each other, and they weren't afraid of Brazil. And I think Brazil plays with so much pressure because they've won the most 5. They're supposed to always win, and I think it gets in their heads. And you can tell when they're all kind of crying at the end. It's just really important to them, but couldn't get it done.
Yeah, they've been definitely struggling the last couple of
been like 5 tournaments in a row.
Yeah,
losses like this.
What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, at least it was closer than the Germany-Brazil game in Brazil. But when they were up 1-0, when Neymar scored that goal, I thought Brazil had it. But then when Croatia scored that goal, then Croatia's pretty much their MO has been once they get to penalties, they pretty much dominate. And I think the pressure,
they're amazing at the penalty. I mean,
that's their thing.
Kicks.
Yeah,
I mean, I know
that's how they go in the tournament.
Supposedly, I don't know. It's such a crapshoot, but
for them, they're just it's easy.
Yeah,
it's like the only way they lose is that they lose in regulation.
Yeah.
And Brazil, I think they haven't. There's something I don't think they've been to a final since 2006, which is pretty crazy. So I think
I really thought they were going to break through this year too. I really thought that. I mean, it looked pretty good, at least in qualifying and early on in the tournament. And
they usually look good early.
Yeah, I mean,
and the pressure, and I guess we'll transition the pressure got to them, and kind of in penalty kicks too. I feel like.
Yeah, Stuart, what are your thoughts on Croatia's ability to be dominant in the penalty kicks?
It's well, their goalie is amazing at saving and penalties, which is everything, right? Scoring is minor compared to a goalie making a save, right? So yeah, they are amazing at penalty kicks. The pressure doesn't seem to bother them. They do well. They're just really good at it.
Yeah, it's pretty
It takes
amazing.
a certain kind of mentality, and they seem to have that.
Yep.
Yeah, so let's just preview. We're just gonna finish off this side of the bracket. Tomorrow, Argentina plays at Croatia. It's a 2 p.m. Eastern game. I'll start with you, Stuart. What are your thoughts going into that game?
I'll tell you, these two games, I've gone back and forth a few times. I think Croatia wins it. My heart wants Messi to win. I'd love to see Messi make a final. It'd be a lot of fun. But Croatia, I think, wins it. They're just that more of a consistent team, a team that everyone keeps writing them off, right? And they came second last time. That there's nothing stopping them right now other than Argentina, and I don't think Argentina will be able to keep up with them. Having said that, it won't surprise me at all if Argentina wins. I am still like 51-49 in my vote for Croatia to win right now, but that's a tough one.
Yeah, it's such a interesting matchup for a semifinal. Tim, what are some of your thoughts on Croatia, Argentina?
I think it is a toss up. I mean, you can't always go against Croatia because they'll prove you wrong again and again, and they've got so much experience. But just something about Argentina this time, having a couple things, like Messi is gonna call it quits after this one, so they're playing for him. And I kind of like how they lost that first game to Saudi Arabia because I think that woke them up and really helped them focus. And a lot of teams, not a lot, but teams like Spain lose the first game and still win the whole thing. So, they kind of got it out of their system. I'm going to pick them just because I guess my heart, but I could see it go either way. It's tough.
I want to thank Prestige Warrior for actually paying forward the gift they got from Carly to Pine. So Pines, now you can enjoy the emotes. I really appreciate all the gift subs tonight. That's awesome. And yeah, it's I don't know, it's such a tough matchup. I'm just so impressed that they were able to make it back to a semifinal after being in the finals before. It's very difficult to do, and we'll talk about the other side of that bracket too. But to lose it and still be able to make it back to a semifinal is difficult.
Really consistent.
Yeah, thing. Arun, what are some of your thoughts on this matchup?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Argentina, not by much, but they're also like, even Croatia's great at penalties, but Argentina, they also did a good job in penalties, and they seem to have a lot of experience too. And their goalie likes talking trash, so that'll be like two of the better goalies. It's kind of like a
So we're saying it's going to penalties. Yeah,
it could be like
1-1 to penalties probably,
or like 4-4.
That would be cool. Better.
He gets a hat trick or something. Like,
yeah,
like really awesome like that. I don't know,
that would be 200. It could happen. You never know.
Never know. Could have like a really amazing game. Modified, any final thoughts on this before we switch sides in the bracket?
Say that again.
Any final thoughts before we switch sides of the bracket?
You know what? The one thing I do want to mention is Croatia and Morocco being in the top four. Just going to point out the fact that they were in Canada's group, and neither one of them were the favorite to win the group. So imagine how tough that group was. We had Belgium, who was number 2 in the world, favored to win the group, didn't even make it out of the group, and then Morocco and Croatia, who are now both in the top 4, all out of the same group with Canada. I think Canada kind of got smoked on groups here, but that's for another day.
Like you see that after the fact a lot in World Cup.
Yeah, it's hard to know.
Like,
they don't know.
Yeah, they're guessing as well as we are, right? It's like you guess, right?
Yeah.
But Morocco has been the shock of the tournament so far. So in a way, it's kind of fun to watch.
Yeah,
it's a happy shock.
Yeah, let's just talk about that next. I mean, a 1-0 victory. It's just kind of shocking. The one goal happened 42 minutes in for Morocco, and there was no other scoring, and Portugal just didn't show up in this big game. I mean, it's just 1-0 results for people who don't like soccer or football internationally. It's like, oh, what a terrible game. But obviously, as a coach or someone who likes defense, it's a fantastic result. But it was an interesting matchup. There was definitely some chippiness towards the end of this game. I'll start with you, Stuart. What are some of your thoughts on this 1-0 victory?
Well, like I said, Portugal playing, playing their superstar was a mistake. They should have, they should have left him at home basically. Uh, Sadly enough, that changed the way they were going to finish and how they were going to finish the tournament. I would like to see Morocco win. The next game coming up. We're talking. Which game are we on now? Are we talking about the game coming up tomorrow or on Saturday?
Yeah, Morocco, Portugal.
Okay, so the Morocco Portugal one. Again, play your superstar, you lose the game. It's kind of an obvious problem there. So I think Morocco is one of those teams that you can't underestimate now. Who have they beaten? They've beaten Spain, Belgium, Portugal. They've beaten them all, right? And looking at the teams they've beaten, you got to go, holy cow. The funniest part about it, they've only given up one goal the entire tournament, and that was to Canada. So can you go against Morocco in this game? Upcoming game, I'm not sure, because they sure made Brazil look bad. So, I thought they were the better team when it came to playing Brazil. Brazil was one scoring player up front short of winning the game. That's the way I looked at that game. So
Portugal was, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's going to be interesting. Tim, what are your thoughts on Morocco and sort of their defense?
They've been amazing, and it's a great shout out to Africa. First team in the semis, so they have so much support, and they're the underdog in general. I think they're gonna have a huge majority of the support in the semis, but France is just a whole nother animal. Like, that's going to be tough to keep them out of scoring, but I'm definitely going to be rooting for them. And I think they play together, and they've got some good players, so they have a chance, but they're going to be underdogs.
For sure. Are there any final thoughts on first of all, the Portugal-Morocco match?
Yeah, I think like after they shut out Spain, like Portugal, like even though they put up 6 goals or whatever in the last game against Switzerland, it's just like Morocco, they shut out Spain, and I think they were just playing on another. They're playing, even though like all the teams are dominating possession, they just seem to be on point on defense, and they have guys from all over Europe, like and like professional league, so they have a lot of experience, and they seem to all know their roles, and there's no the pressure's not on them either. Like in the penalty kicks, like Spain, it just seemed like they mentally like withered when they couldn't get a goal even in penalty kicks. And one of their players for Morocco actually chose to play for Morocco instead of Spain, which is pretty funny, but and he's the one that sent them past Spain. So I don't know, like France, I think it's gonna be it'll be an interesting game between France and Morocco.
Yeah, we'll get into that in just a second. Want to go back to the France versus England game. This is the game I watched the closest, and I actually really thought it was a very interesting match. So France scored first in this one, and then a penalty kick for Harry Kane. He ties the all-time English record for goals, and then France is able to take the lead, and then Harry Kane gets another shot at it and just boots it over the net. And there are other opportunities for England down the stretch, but it's no good for them. And so it goes from the greatest player in English history to then sort of the scapegoat for missing it. And it's just amazing how fast a game can kind of turn, go from goat to scapegoat, I guess. So
yeah.
But yeah, it's just it's a brutal match. France is really good, and we're talking about it on the other side of the bracket. They're another team. It has been a long time since a team that won a World Cup and it's able to make it back to a semifinal. But they have proven that they have the heart of a champion. And in chat, they're talking about Mbappe and how good he is, and he's really an incredible player. And they feed off of his energy. But they've got a lot of great forwards and people that are willing to sell themselves out for some good headers and goals and things like that. So I'll start off with you, Stuart. What are some of your thoughts on this England France game?
The game again was the poor reffing comes into play again. I was not thrilled with the reffing in that one, and it's funny to me to watch refs at that level have a game get out of hand on it like that on them. Where they miss out some major calls or miss something that's a difference maker in the game, and yet we were sitting here watching it, going, "My God, these guys have been reffing their entire lives. They've waited years to get into the World Cup and ref in the World Cup, and then they do this." They sent the ref home from the Argentine game after that game because it was so brutal. The 17 yellow card one. They said, "No, you're done. Go home," kind of thing. The same thing with this one. I sat there and watched it. I thought the reffing is just terrible, and I don't think it was an advantage for one team over the other, except for one play on England. But sorry, Robbie, am I cutting you off?
Sorry, but I'm just surprised that VAR doesn't pick up more of it.
Yes, yeah. They've got to have a more active VAR, because the one ref system. I mean, it's traditional that they try and convince people they need two refs on the field. It'll never happen, right? But a lot of plays are missed. A lot of things are missed behind the plays and all that too, which you kind of go. They've got to be more active as far as their reffing goes and make it more of a fair sport. Because let's face facts. There was one call that against with an English player that got taken out or whatever, that got missed. It was huge in the game, right? And I'm not saying England should have won the game as a result. I was hoping for France. I'm a big Mbappe fan, so yeah, I'd rather see France win. But the reality is that the reffing in that one actually may have made a difference in the game. I can't say for sure, but may have made a difference in the game.
Yeah, your daughter actually just entered chat trying to catch a Pokemon. So I'm. She was at a concert, so maybe the concert is over. No, it can't be.
Oh yeah, it was an early concert tonight. I don't even know if there was a warm up band.
Oh,
I was supposed to see the Bare Naked Ladies tonight, guys, and I've got COVID this week, so I gave my tickets to my daughter. So
yeah, so she said it ended 30 minutes ago. Well, she'll also tell us if she had a good time at the concert. They seem like an awesome band. So I'm sorry you didn't get to go, but I guess I'm happy that we get to have you on for tonight's show. There was no warm-up. It wasn't early. That's crazy. See, in the United States, it's very rare to not have an opening act. I can't even remember the last time I went to a concert that didn't have one. So
I can't remember last time I did either. It's not like it happens here often, because
interesting.
I don't know if I've ever been to one.
Yeah, so that's interesting that they didn't have one. Tim, what are some of your thoughts on this England-France game?
Yeah, I mean, I think France is the better team. It's sad that England always loses because they miss penalties. Usually it's after the game, not like in-game penalties, but it's just, that's World Cup soccer. It's always like one thing here or there. There's not a lot of scoring. I will say Harry Kane has the record for World Cup penalty kicks because he has like 4 in 4 games. So he's still really good at it. It's just now he's remembered for failing at it. So it's a good player. He's a good player, but England just kind of seems to come up short. The only one that they've won was a long time ago at home. So
66.
Yeah, because they're always like right there, but not quite good enough. But maybe they'll break through because they are getting far, like in every tournament now. So
yeah, it'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts on this England-France game?
Yeah, I think the goal by Giroud was incredible. I thought France was trying to like give away the game at some points. Like the penalties they were committing were just in the penalty box. They committed a couple of them and maybe more. Like I felt like Buffalo Wild Wings paid off France or something. And then I think stepping into the penalty box, I guess Kane twice. Like I guess there's like maybe he got in his own head, just missing the net like completely. And England did get a nice free kick that like was gonna be like a bend it like Beckham play, but that also just above the net, and even that would have
pretty
been tough.
close. Yeah.
And I guess England plays France tough, but ultimately France, I think, is a better team and they deserve to win.
Yeah. All right, let's get into this last matchup then. France versus Morocco. Stuart, I'll start off with you. I mean, you've got sort of the old guard versus the underdog story. It's a classic, interesting matchup.
Yeah, in some ways, I almost want Morocco to win, but the reality is, I think this is where Morocco finds their end. France is really, really, really a good team. There's no doubt about it. And like Aaron, I was kind of surprised they kind of let England back into the game It was kind of frustrating to watch, actually, but I think France beats Morocco. I don't think they slaughter them. I don't think it's an easy win, but I think it's a 1-goal win, and I think France wins. I think Mbappe will be the difference. I don't think there's any other way to look at it. Mbappe is that much better, and I don't think Morocco's ready for a superstar like that.
Yeah, it's there's definitely a different beast than the teams that they've beaten. I'm not saying that those teams are bad, but I mean France has got that pedigree and they are a recent champion, and they don't seem like, some recent champions kind of fold in the next time around, but
usually they do. It's kind of surprising how far they, both teams, them and Croatia, have gone this time. It's kind of shocking.
A rematch, which would be really kind of unheard of, which is
rematch. I'll go to penalty kicks.
Yeah, I know, it definitely would. They both have young cores, so it makes sense they're good again.
Yeah,
because Mbappe is so young still, and he played up. So
I pretty much think Mbappe is easily the best player in the world right now. I don't think anyone can compare to him as far as skills go. So I think he'll be a difference maker against Morocco. He really will, because Morocco won't be able to handle someone like that. So
yeah,
definitely.
And also I just think that they've got so many great strikers, that they've got other weapons too that play off of him so well that I mean he could be a difference maker, but obviously you can't keep too much on him, because you could see he really didn't even factor so much in the scoring in the last game. It was just some
but if you watch carefully, watch the game, they were double and triple teaming him every single chance they could get. Yeah, that's the only way to beat France, though, is you have to stop Mbappe. You have no choice. You have to stop him. So
right. So it'll be interesting to see if they can stop him, but also not allow for set pieces and play with him. Not having penalties and continue to play that strong defense like Morocco has. But they've proven that they can play pretty sound defense. But I agree with you. They haven't had the sort of superstars going against them that they
Spain. I mean, Spain.
And Portugal.
Yeah,
but neither team really has a superstar like Mbappe. They've got good players, extremely good players, but no Mbappe. So I think that'll be the difference. But again, I won't be surprised if Morocco wins. I will not be surprised, because they're kind of been a surprising team all along. I mean, they've beaten all the big boys so far, so I won't be surprised.
They're just going through Europe one by one, geographically.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Prestige Worldwide did say that we're asking a question, is one of Morocco's better players, was he the guy that got the red card? And I don't really.
Yeah, he's a starter.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah, because they're not obviously as deep. I mean,
that was a questionable red card.
It was late. They were like, "Oh, let's just make this interesting. Let's get this guy out with 5 minutes left."
Yeah. So
bad reffing.
That will have an effect on this upcoming game. So that's a good shout out. Davey's asking, did you guys address the stupid coaching by the Portugal coach?
I've complained bitterly. They shouldn't have played. They shouldn't have played Ronaldo at all. They should have just left him at home.
Yeah,
I think they played him in the second half because he didn't want to deal with the consequences of him not playing, win or lose, because he would definitely get blamed for that.
So you know what? I thought the same thing, and that's a problem with bringing a washed-up superstar.
Yeah.
Now the coach feels pressure to put him in, because if you lose and you left Ronaldo on the bench, you're going to look like an idiot, right?
It's to a much lesser extent, but the U.S. had Gio Reyna, who was like a big problem and not in shape and stuff. And he is one of the better players on the team, and he barely played. But people were giving the coach, grief in the media for not playing him, but he just wasn't ready for the tournament. So, I mean, it's tough when people don't know what's happening behind the scenes and who's actually ready, but it's just the name, the pedigree. Yeah, Pepe's good.
So my friend Tanya did join chat. She's actually from the Netherlands, so but she says that she did not care that they lost. So
good to know.
She clearly doesn't care too much about the soccer, but that's kind of cool that we have somebody that's right now in Europe, which is crazy early in the morning. So thank you for tuning in and joining us on that. But so all right, our final thoughts. Stuart, who do you think is going to be in the finals, and who do you think is going to win it? It's his prediction time.
Well, I think France wins. That's the one I'm a little bit more sure about, but I'm not jumping up and down about that. I think they're the winner, and I think they play Croatia. Croatia loses to France again. I think we just have a repeat of 2018 coming up. That's my predictions. I'm not betting money on it.
Yeah, I don't hold anyone to it, but it's fun to do. Tim, what are your predictions?
Not betting money, but I'll say Argentina over France. And 3-2 in the final. I think
I would love that. That would make
that's
my
what
weekend.
that's what the media wants.
Yeah, that would
Yeah.
That's what the fans want probably.
I like that. Do you have a thought?
Morocco versus Argentina. in the
Nice.
final.
Morocco wins 6-1.
So,
Do you actually think Morocco's going to win?
I don't know. I had ask, my dad predicted Morocco would beat Portugal, so I got to ask him.
He's the expert.
He's the expert on,
At least on cricket.
That's true. Antonio, it's not my birthday today, but we are celebrating it because my birthday was on Friday. We did showcase. I went to the Caps game and we got a big win, and we were celebrating that in the first hour. And this is kind of the closest podcast to that. I'm also taking the next 3 weeks off, so it's kind of a celebration of the end of the fall season, and we'll come back with the winter season in the second week in January. But yeah, so Davey was saying that if anyone wants my prediction, I think France goes on the repeat, and he thought that Argentina was pretty close to elimination in group play. Isn't that wild? And Jeff thinks it's going to be Croatia versus Morocco finals.
It's probably France. I'm going to change my mind to France now.
Croatia,
I forgot.
Croatia in the PKs. So but thank you guys for the birthday wishes in chat. So and we've got, oh wow, first time chatter. I don't even know how to pronounce it, but Liquida Sidel maybe. But they think Argentina world champion. So thank you for lurking, Lucas. Got it. Cool. Thank you, Lucas.
That's a lot easier.
Yeah, Lucas is much easier. So I will welcome Lucas to chat and to the podcast. And I don't know if you found us using tags or World Cup or how you found us, but I appreciate you for tuning in and thinks that Argentina is going to win. You know what? I agree. I think Argentina is going to play France, and Argentina is going to find a way to win, but going to be a lower scoring game. I'm going 2-1. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it goes. So obviously this is our last World Cup chat because when we come back, it'll be a couple weeks afterwards. I will recap how the 3 games go, and then also the third place game. Does anyone want to make a prediction on how they think the third place is going to go?
No,
Let's just first get to
Whoever,
if Argentina loses, they're going to lose, and if France loses, then they'll, unless they play each other, then I don't know, then they'll probably both just.
I think Morocco would win the third place game because they would care a lot more for some reason.
That's a good point, actually. Yeah, it's probably Morocco.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. If Morocco ends up in third place, that'd be such an incredible thing.
Oh yeah, that would be.
I mean, it's already incredible.
Yeah, because they're already going to be in the top 4. So
First African nation in the top 4.
Yeah, huge.
Yeah, third. Jeff Clark says third doesn't matter. It's true. I don't really care either, but it is a game that they.
It was fun when Brazil lost the third place game after they lost.
They'll probably get rid of it eventually. Yeah, they lost that too.
I don't know. I feel like third place is such an Olympics thing. I feel like no one really cares about it in the World Cup, but
I mean, nobody here cares, but probably
they care. It's they play subs too. It's not
and gamblers also care.
Yeah, gamblers.
Yeah,
they gotta have an extra game for TV.
Yeah. So we'll
fill that Saturday.
Thank you for coming and checking us out. It's nice to see you. It's crazy that you tuned in all the way from Europe, so that's really cool. I don't usually get European people at 11:30 Eastern time, but all right. Well, I'm gonna give the Modfather command one more time real quick, so that way people can go check out his daughter, Jillian Hayek, or Hayek, and she's great on Twitch, and you should go check her out. You can check him out, modding over there almost every day, and I hang out in that chat a lot as well. But Stuart, any final thoughts before we let you go?
The only thought I have is that if Morocco makes the final, and I could see myself doing this, I would cheer for them if it was against Croatia, but if they make the final and Argentina makes the final, I'll have a hard time with it because it'd be really kind of cool to see someone like Morocco win. So if Morocco can get to the final, I might end up cheering for them after all this, even though I'm a big Messi fan and I want Messi to win. It'd just be interesting to see. So
Yeah, for sure. Well, Stuart, thank you. I'm sorry that you're under the weather. I'm sorry you missed the concert tonight, but I really had fun breaking this down the last couple of weeks with you, and it's been cool to have you on for both the World Cup but also Olympics. And whenever we have an international event, I know that I can get the Canadian perspective from you, and I appreciate the joining us for this time. And I hope that you have a great rest of your week. I hope that you recover soon and that your surgery goes well. And we'll definitely find a time to talk in the new year.
sounds good. Thank you for having me.
Of course, of course.
Have a great night.
All right, so I am probably going to end the audio podcast for the Facebook side of things, and then I'm going to go run and grab Arun's merchandise, and we'll show that on this feed. But while I go, well, actually, I can let you guys give your final thoughts before while I go grab it. So I'll start off with Arun. Any comments about this upcoming week, or your thoughts? And it can be also about your thoughts with the Commanders as well. I know we haven't really talked about them.
Yeah, that tie against the Commanders is it was funny that they were kind of just playing for a tie, like at the end of that, like overtime on the 3rd and 10 play on their own like 30-yard line. They decided, or like they were kind of backed up, they just decided to hand off the ball. And yeah, and it's also kind of funny, RG3 is right now on the Sports Junkies repeat.
Oh yeah, the repeat.
RG3 making an appearance one more time while I'm on the air. So thanks. Although RG3 with the really bad take saying that Carson Wentz is a better quarterback than Taylor Heineke, which is
Clearly not true.
Yeah.
Right? So I do have this piece of merch. So Arun is our longest time contributor on this podcast. He was in season 1. We're now in season 7. So here is a sweatshirt for you to rock
Thank you.
Yeah, so we've I wanted to give it to him last Christmas, but it has not happened until this one. So you can definitely rock that out. If anybody wants to get your own, you can always go to sportsothp.com, click the apparels button, and you can get it there. And I really appreciate everyone for doing that. Oh, Stuart saying that he had the COVID sweats the entire show, hard time to concentrate. No, you did a great job.
Yeah, we didn't know.
Yeah, you wouldn't have known. So, yeah, you did great. So I appreciate you for joining us. And Tim, any final thoughts before you go?
No, just it was fun breaking down the World Cup more just because it wasn't all Wizards losses, so it was a little bit more optimistic. But
Wizards pretty optimistic. Yeah. Number 1 draft.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, the tank is optimistic, but
it's definitely the losses probably hurt more.
But yeah, it was just fun hanging out with you guys.
Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. So since the World Cup, Morocco versus France, what do you think? Yeah, I mean we're just breaking it down. I think that France is going to win, but Morocco's good defense, so you never know. You can't count them out. A lot of teams have so far, and they've been all wrong. So, but yeah, we actually broke down all the matchups. I know you just joining us in chat, but the VOD will be up, and the whole segment will be up as well as a highlight and on my YouTube channel if anybody missed it. But I want to probably end the Facebook Live of the show. I don't know, it just undid itself. So hold on, let me see if I can trying to anyway, I'll let me just rewire one thing real quick.
What's RG3 talking about now?
You passed me my phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, man, I gotta head out. Just late.
Have a good one.
But yeah, thanks for hosting.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
and
grab a cupcake, I guess.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna grab one. Yeah. Happy holidays too, if I don't see you again.
Yeah.
Thanks for the cupcake, and have a great trip too.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
that's awesome. All right,
I'll see you again soon.
See if I can get my mouse to work again. Well, I don't know why I can't. Let me see. through. I can just gotta end the Facebook Live feed.
Okay.
All right, well, thank you everyone for tuning into the audio side and the Facebook Live side of it, and we'll be up on tomorrow's podcast. I appreciate everyone for tuning in with DC Sports Off the Politics, Sports on the Hill podcast. All right. I think that we are off of Facebook. So, all right, sorry about that. All right, we should be back here live on Twitch. People let us know where we should raid out to. If anyone has any ideas, we can do that. And then, all right. So I have a couple options, but I'll let people decide in chat as well if they have anybody that they'd like to go see. Just take a look through real quickly, but people can feel free to shout out anybody that they'd like to see. All right. Why don't we go visit? I have a friend of mine. I'm a mod for. He does a cool card game. It's actually the very first person I ever modded for. I know we don't usually go to a game stream. We usually do music, but it could be kind of fun. Let me see here. All right, cool. All right, we're gonna start the raid over to Dark Matter Wolf. Sorry for some of the technical glitches at the end here, but thank you everyone for tuning in. Thank you, Arun, for joining me. We're gonna head over there. He's doing a Marvel card game, and I actually have been a mod over there for over 4 years. I've known him for a very long time. So we'll go say hi to him. I've never actually gotten a mod to raid him before, so that should be fun. We'll pull up the subraid as well. Thank you everyone for tuning in. This has been such a fun show tonight. Again, we will be back in 3 weeks and we'll have more then. And thank you, Proceed Worldwide, for joining us. Thank you, Jeff. It was a really fun show. I really appreciate everyone's time, and it sucks that the Wizards didn't win, but I'm super happy the Caps had a great week. And yeah, I will